It was an ordinary morning in Odin, Indiana. William Hackler finished breakfast with his family and went out to tend to the farm chores, as he did every day. But a few yards from the house, he stopped. Smoke was pouring from the second-floor window. William ran back inside, raced up the stairs, and found the bedroom wall burning from within. No visible cause, no explanation. The house had no electrical wiring. The stove was cold. There was nothing that could have started that fire. The small volunteer fire department of Odin was called and quickly put out the flames. Firefighters inspected the walls, the ceiling, and the floor. Nothing. No explanation. They left assuming the matter was closed. They hadn't even left the block when the phone rang. Another fire had started, this time inside a feather mattress in the second bedroom. The fire seemed to have sprouted from within the material itself. The firefighters came back, they put it out, and they stayed. Because on that day, June 21st, 1940, William Hackler's house would not stop catching fire. From 8 in the morning until 11, 9 separate fires were extinguished. One started inside a desk drawer. Another consumed a book, but only from within. The cover was intact while the pages burned. A quilt burst into flames while 2 neighbors stood less than a yard away. And there was no fire in the fireplace, no ignition source, nothing. By 2 in the afternoon, more firefighters were called from other towns. Nearly 100 men stood guard inside and around the Hackler house, watching, trying to understand what was happening. The fires kept appearing. A pair of coveralls hanging in the kitchen caught fire on their own. A medicine cabinet began burning from the inside. Curtains at one window ignited while people stood directly beneath them. On the roof, a flame was extinguished, and immediately another began on the opposite side of the roof. The Hackler family removed all their belongings from the house and waited for the inevitable, for the building to be completely consumed. But the house did not fall. In total, 28 fires were extinguished that day. At 11 that night, the last fire was put out. And then, just as suddenly as it had all begun, without warning, without explanation, the fires stopped. The family slept outside that night, mattresses on the lawn beneath the Indiana sky. Nobody wanted to go back inside. In the week that followed, dozens of curious onlookers, experts, and journalists descended on the Hackler property. One man claimed the farm sat over a powerful magnetic field that could ignite metals. Another suggested a disused well on the property was releasing flammable gas through cracks in the foundation. Someone blamed the Hackler children. Others whispered that the house was cursed. The Indiana State Fire Marshal concluded his official investigation with a single sentence: "The most baffling mystery I have ever seen in my life," and closed the case with no solution. The traveler's insurance company paid the damages and was so fascinated by the phenomenon that it published a full-page advertisement in Collier's magazine in April 1941, using the story to highlight the importance of having proper fire insurance. William Hackler had the house demolished on July 4th of that year. A new house was built using the reclaimed lumber from the old one, and the fires never came back. To this day, nobody knows what happened at the Hackler farm on June 21st, 1940. No law of physics explains why a closed book can catch fire from within while its cover remains cold. No magnetic field theory has ever been validated by a laboratory. No gas well was ever found on the property. And the Hackler children, when questioned decades later, never admitted to any prank. In Odin, Indiana, people still talk about that day because there are things in this world that shouldn't happen and that happened anyway.